Hey friends! If you're like me, you're already in full holiday mode. And what better way to kick off the season than with a brand new Christmas movie? Today, we're talking about Hot Frosty, the latest Netflix original Christmas rom-com that just dropped on November 13th, 2024. Directed by Ciccoritti, starring Lacey Chabert and Dustin Milligan. This movie is already making waves, and I'm here to break it down for you. So grab a cup of hot cocoa, sit back, and let's dive into everything Hot Frosty has to offer. Introducing the main characters. The heart of Hot Frosty lies in its two main characters, and trust me, their chemistry will make you root for them from the get-go. Maggie Frost, played by Lacey Chabert, is a talented ice sculptor who's been burned by love before. After a recent breakup that left her heartbroken and disillusioned, Maggie has a rather cynical view of Christmas. In fact, she's become so wrapped up in her career that she doesn't really do holidays anymore. Christmas has just become another workday for her. Her passion for ice sculpting is undeniable, but she's emotionally closed off, particularly when it comes to matters of the heart. Maggie's only close companion is her best friend Greer, played by Katy Mixon, who's everything Maggie isn't. Bubbly, optimistic, and obsessed with Christmas cheer. Then we have Jake Hainline, played by Dustin Milligan. Jake is the complete opposite of Maggie. He's the easygoing, fun-loving owner of the local Christmas tree farm, where the scent of pine and the joy of the holiday season are always in the air. He's an eternal optimist, with an infectious love for everything Christmas. Jake is the kind of guy who lives for the town's holiday traditions, and he's always looking for ways to spread festive cheer, whether it's by volunteering or decorating his property to the max. But even Jake has a secret. He's been harboring feelings for Maggie for years, and he believes this Christmas could be the perfect opportunity to finally make her see the magic of the season, and maybe even fall for him in the process. Plot. Today we're diving into the world of Hot Frosty, a brand new Christmas rom-com from Netflix that's perfect for the holiday season. Released in November 2024, Hot Frosty is filled with heart, humor, and, of course, a whole lot of Christmas spirit. If you're looking for a movie that mixes romance with holiday traditions and plenty of laughs, this is definitely one to check out. Let's break down the plot and dive deep into the journey of Maggie Frost and Jake Hainline, who are about to discover that love, like Christmas, isn't always about perfection. It's about the magic of unexpected moments. Setting the stage in Hollybrook. The story begins in the festive town of Hollybrook, a picturesque village that looks like it came straight out of a Christmas postcard. Hollybrook has a special place in the hearts of its residents, who embrace the magic of the holiday season with all the enthusiasm you'd expect from a town that truly believes in the spirit of Christmas. The streets are lined with twinkling lights, the scent of gingerbread fills the air, and every year, the town holds a much-anticipated event, the Frosty Cup. The Frosty Cup is more than just a snowman building contest. It's a symbol of the town's unity, an event where neighbors come together to compete for the coveted title of Frosty Cup champions. The prize isn't just bragging rights, though. Legend has it that the winning team will receive good fortune and love in the coming year. The challenge is simple. Build the best snowman and you win. But in Hollybrook, there's a bit of holiday magic mixed into the tradition, and everyone takes it very seriously. For Maggie Frost, played by Lacey Chabert, however, Christmas has lost its charm. Maggie is an accomplished ice sculptor, but after a painful breakup with her longtime boyfriend and the pressures of her demanding career, she's developed a jaded view of both love and the holiday season. She doesn't have time for Christmas cheer or traditions. Instead, Maggie's only focus is her upcoming art gallery show in the city, which she hopes will solidify her reputation as a serious artist. Maggie's best friend Greer, played by Katy Mixon, however, has other plans. Greer is Hollybrook's ultimate Christmas enthusiast, the kind of person who starts decorating for the holidays the minute the leaves start to turn. Greer, who loves Maggie deeply, knows that her best friend has become too consumed with work and personal pain to truly experience the joy of Christmas. So, she sets out to change that, and what better way than by roping Maggie into participating in the town's Frosty Cup competition. Greer convinces Maggie that it will be fun, and maybe, just maybe, Maggie will rediscover her holiday spirit. Maggie, of course, reluctantly agrees to join, thinking it'll be a quick, no-pressure event. She just wants to get through it. But there's a twist that Maggie doesn't see coming. She'll be paired up with Jake Hainline, played by Dustin Milligan, a local carpenter and the cheerful owner of the Hollybrook Christmas tree farm. Jake is the complete opposite of Maggie. Where Maggie is cynical, Jake is an eternal optimist. Where Maggie is focused on work, Jake is always ready to drop everything to celebrate Christmas with his friends and neighbors. The idea of working together doesn't sit well with Maggie. She's not interested in any of the holiday festivities, and the last thing she wants is to be paired with someone like Jake, who is all about fun, community, and joy. Maggie is wary of getting too close to Jake, especially since she knows he's passionate about the town's Christmas traditions, something she's long since lost interest in. The opposites attract dynamic. From the moment Maggie and Jake are forced to team up, the sparks fly, though they're more like clashes at first. Jake's approach to the Frosty Cup is lighthearted and carefree. He wants to enjoy the process of building the snowman, make it fun, and live in the moment. Maggie, however, is all about perfection and control. She sees the competition as an art project, one that has to be meticulously crafted to showcase her skills. Her cold, precise approach to snowman building contrasts sharply with Jake's spontaneous and joyful nature. Their first few days working together are filled with tension. Maggie's insistence on creating a perfect snowman that embodies her artistic vision frustrates Jake, who believes that Christmas should be about fun and family, not stress and competition. Jake suggests using a variety of bright decorations to bring the snowman to life, while Maggie insists on keeping things simple and elegant. Their differing viewpoints on how to approach the snowman, and life in general, leads to plenty of humorous moments, but it also becomes clear that they have a growing attraction to each other, despite their differences. As the days go on, Maggie begins to open up to Jake, though she still fights against her budding feelings for him. Jake, on the other hand, is completely smitten, even though he knows he has to tread carefully around Maggie, who seems emotionally distant. Maggie slowly starts to see the value in Jake's carefree approach to life, as he shows her how to enjoy the little moments of Christmas. In turn, Jake starts to realize that there's more to Maggie than the tough, no-nonsense persona she projects. She's carrying a lot of emotional baggage, and as they spend more time together, he starts to see the cracks in her guarded exterior. The emotional journey of Maggie Frost. As much as Maggie tries to deny it, the more time she spends with Jake, the more she finds herself drawn to him. Jake's warmth, kindness, and love for Christmas start to chip away at her icy shell. Maggie begins to realize that her reluctance to celebrate the holidays isn't because she doesn't enjoy them. It's because she's afraid of getting hurt again. Her past relationship left scars that she hasn't fully healed from, and as Christmas approaches, Maggie is forced to confront her fears about love and emotional vulnerability. Jake, too, has his own baggage. Though he's outgoing and friendly, he's been quietly nursing his own insecurities. He feels like he's not enough for someone like Maggie, who's so focused on her career and ambitions. He doesn't have the polished, high-end lifestyle that Maggie is used to. He's a small-town guy with a simple, hard-working life. But Jake's authentic nature and deep love for Hollybrook, and for Maggie, make him someone you can't help but root for. As the days pass and the competition deadline looms, Maggie and Jake's connection deepens. Yet, despite their growing feelings for each other, their unresolved issues threaten to pull them apart. When a misunderstanding leads Maggie to believe that Jake might not take their budding relationship seriously, she pulls away from him, determined not to let herself fall for him. The big snowstorm and turning point. As Christmas Eve approaches, the movie takes a dramatic turn when a massive snowstorm traps Maggie and Jake together at Jake's Christmas tree farm. Forced to spend the night alone, Maggie and Jake finally have the chance to talk honestly about their feelings. They open up about their pasts, Maggie's broken heart, Jake's fear of not being enough, and the walls they've built around themselves. In this intimate setting, surrounded by the glow of Christmas lights and the scent of pine, the two of them share a heartfelt conversation that changes everything. It's in this moment of vulnerability that Maggie finally realizes what she's been missing all along. Not just a perfect snowman, but the courage to embrace love again. They kiss under the glow of the Christmas tree, marking the beginning of a new chapter in their relationship. The tension that's built throughout the movie melts away as they come to terms with their feelings for each other. The snowman reveal and heartwarming conclusion. The final scenes of Hot Frosty take place on Christmas Eve, as the entire town gathers for the grand unveiling of the giant snowman in the town square. The competition's winner is about to be announced, but more importantly, Maggie and Jake's snowman symbolizes their journey. From two strangers with little in common to a couple who have found common ground in love and community. In the final moments, the snowman they've built together is revealed to the entire town. It's not perfect, but it's beautiful, quirky, and full of heart, just like Maggie and Jake's relationship. The movie ends with a heartwarming kiss under the glow of Christmas lights, surrounded by the cheering townsfolk. Maggie, once jaded and closed off, has found not just love, but a renewed belief in the magic of Christmas. Themes and final thoughts. At its core, Hot Frosty is a story about opening your heart to love, the importance of community, and rediscovering the magic of the holiday season. It teaches us that Christmas isn't about perfection. It's about love, joy, and sharing moments with the Frosty Cup and the big competition. The Frosty Cup is more than just a competition. It's Hollybrook's Christmas event of the year. This isn't your average snowman building contest. The winning team of the Frosty Cup gets to unveil the town's giant snowman, a statue that will stand in the town square for the entire holiday season. There's a local legend that says whoever wins the Frosty Cup will receive good fortune and love for the coming year. It's a big deal for everyone in town, but especially for Jake, who sees this as his chance to prove to Maggie that Christmas is more than just a commercial holiday. It's about community, love, and embracing the spirit of the season. The twist? Maggie is reluctantly roped into participating when her best friend Greer convinces her that she has to join the competition. Maggie is initially hesitant, wanting to focus on her art and career, but Greer insists that it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for Maggie to find her Christmas spirit, not to mention her true self. What Maggie doesn't expect is that she's paired up with none other than Jake Hainline, the very guy she's tried to avoid getting close to for years. The clash of Christmas spirits. Right from the start, things don't go smoothly for Maggie and Jake. Maggie, who's all about precision and practicality, approaches the snowman challenge like it's an art project. She wants everything perfect, no room for mistakes. Meanwhile, Jake is all about fun and spontaneity. He's not interested in perfection. He's focused on enjoying the process and having a good time. From the get-go, they butt heads over every decision: what kind of snowman they should build, how to decorate it, and even how they should spend their time. While Maggie sees Christmas as a commercial hassle, Jake sees it as a chance to spread joy and create something beautiful. At first, they clash at every turn. Maggie doesn't understand why Jake insists on decorating the snowman with cheesy Christmas lights when it could be classier. And Jake can't understand why Maggie is so set on keeping everything rigid and sterile. But even in their arguments, there's spark. A playful, romantic tension that both try to ignore. You know how it is? Opposites attract, right? The turning point. As the days go by, Maggie starts to loosen up a little, and Jake begins to understand her frustrations. It's clear that Maggie's not just avoiding Christmas. She's been hurt by love in the past, and her emotional walls are pretty high. But Jake, being the warm-hearted guy he is, doesn't give up. He shows Maggie that Christmas is about more than just materialism. It's about connection, kindness, and community. During a particularly snowy evening, Maggie and Jake get stuck at Jake's Christmas tree farm due to a massive snowstorm. Forced to spend the night together, they share a cozy evening by the fire, opening up to each other in ways they hadn't before. Maggie reveals her fears about love, while Jake shares his own insecurities about not being enough for someone like Maggie. It's a tender moment that allows both of them to see each other as more than just the roles they've been playing in the competition. But, of course, this is a romantic comedy, so things can't stay perfect for too long. The following day, a miscommunication causes Maggie to pull away from Jake. She starts doubting whether she's ready to open herself up to love again, especially with Christmas right around the corner. The rift between them deepens and Maggie becomes more determined than ever to focus on her career and her art, thinking that maybe she's better off without the emotional chaos of a relationship. The climax and the snowman reveal. As Christmas Eve approaches, the Frosty Cup competition nears its grand finale. The town is buzzing with excitement, and everyone's eager to see which team will take home the prize. Maggie and Jake, however, are barely speaking. Their snowman, while impressive, feels incomplete, just like their relationship. In a moment of realization, Maggie finally understands that love and Christmas can't be controlled or sculpted perfectly. She races to find Jake, apologizes for pushing him away, and they work together to put the final touches on their snowman. The entire town comes together to reveal the massive snowman they've created, and Maggie and Jake finally share the kiss that has been brewing throughout the entire film. It's a magical, heartwarming moment that's a true celebration of love, community, and Christmas spirit. Character breakdown of Hot Frosty, 2024. Hot Frosty is full of dynamic characters, each adding their own unique flavor to the film's Christmas magic and romantic comedy charm. Let's break down the main characters and their roles in the story, focusing on their motivations, development, and how they contribute to the plot. 1. Maggie Frost, played by Lacey Chabert. Character type: the reluctant hero/Grinch-turned-believer. Character traits: *independent. Maggie is fiercely independent and focused on her career, especially as an ice sculptor. *emotionally guarded. After a painful breakup and years of investing more in her work than in relationships, Maggie has built up walls around her heart. She's skeptical of love and anything that could disrupt her carefully controlled life. *pragmatic and perfectionist. Maggie's approach to life is pragmatic, and she expects precision and control, especially in her work. She tends to dismiss anything that doesn't align with her artistic vision, including Christmas and the holiday season. Emotionally closed off. She keeps her emotions in check, largely because she fears getting hurt again after her past relationship. Character arc: Maggie starts the film disillusioned with Christmas and romance. She views the holiday season as just another hassle, a distraction from her work and goals. Her reluctance to participate in the Frosty Cup contest reflects her emotional wall, a wall that has been built over time due to her past heartbreaks. Maggie initially resists the charm of Christmas, especially the lighthearted, carefree nature of Jake's personality. Over the course of the film, her journey is one of self-discovery and emotional growth. Through her partnership with Jake, Maggie begins to realize that Christmas isn't about perfection or controlling every situation. It's about embracing the moment, being open to love, and learning to trust again. By the end of the film, Maggie transforms from a cynical, emotionally closed-off woman into someone who believes in both the magic of Christmas and the power of love. Her vulnerability and willingness to embrace her feelings are what allow her to find love with Jake. 2. Jake Hainline, played by Dustin Milligan. Character type: the charming optimist/heartfelt hero. Character traits: cheerful and optimistic. Jake is the epitome of Christmas cheer. He embodies the holiday spirit, enthusiastic, always looking on the bright side of things, and deeply connected to his small-town community. Hardworking and humble. Jake runs the town's Christmas tree farm and works tirelessly to make Hollybrook a more festive and joyful place. While he's not wealthy, he's rich in kindness, generosity, and good intentions. Romantic and sincere. Jake is secretly in love with Maggie and has been for years. Though he's confident in his personality, he's a little insecure about his place in her life. He believes that his love for Christmas is the perfect way to bring Maggie back to the holiday spirit, but he also knows that opening his heart to her might expose him to rejection. Patient and understanding. Jake is aware that Maggie has emotional baggage, and instead of pushing her away or giving up, he patiently waits for her to come to terms with her feelings. He's not quick to judge her when she's defensive or distant. He's willing to take his time. Character arc. Jake's arc is one of personal growth in understanding how love works. While he's always been a believer in Christmas magic and the idea of love, he struggles with self-doubt when it comes to his worthiness for someone like Maggie. He worries that his simple life on the farm isn't enough to compete with Maggie's career-focused, big-city lifestyle. Through his relationship with Maggie, Jake learns that love isn't about grandeur or perfection. It's about connection, understanding, and willingness to embrace vulnerability. By the end of the movie, Jake's patient love and belief in the magic of Christmas are rewarded, and he ends up with the woman he's always admired. His character is a reminder that sometimes the quiet, understated people who care the most are the ones who make the biggest impact. 3. Greer, played by Katy Mixon. Character type: the over-the-top best friend/Christmas enthusiast. Character traits: bubbly and energetic. Greer is the energetic, always happy best friend who's obsessed with Christmas in the most charming way. She has an over-the-top personality, decorating her house like it's a holiday theme park and wearing festive sweaters year-round. Supportive and loyal. As Maggie's best friend, Greer is always there to support her, no matter what. She is determined to help Maggie rediscover her joy in life, especially when it comes to Christmas. Comedic relief. Greer's enthusiasm for Christmas provides much-needed comic relief throughout the movie. She's always encouraging Maggie to lighten up and embrace the magic of the season, no matter how reluctant Maggie is. Role in the plot: Greer plays a crucial role in Maggie's emotional journey. She's the one who pushes Maggie to enter the Frosty Cup competition, despite Maggie's reluctance. Greer is also the one who sees the potential for love between Maggie and Jake long before they do. She's the catalyst that gets Maggie into the holiday spirit, even if Maggie doesn't realize it at first. Though Greer's antics are sometimes exaggerated, her heart is always in the right place. 4. Tessa, played by Chris Hell-Stawes. Character type: the well-meaning but clueless advisor/cousin of Jake. Character traits: bubbly and outspoken. Tessa is Jake's cousin and the owner of the town's bakery. She's kind-hearted, outgoing, and always eager to offer advice, whether it's wanted or not. Romantic and dreamy. Tessa is a hopeless romantic who believes in the magic of love and wants to see Jake and Maggie together, even if she doesn't fully understand the complexities of their relationship. Unintentionally hilarious. Though well-meaning, Tessa's advice about relationships and love often ends up causing more confusion than clarity. She's the type of person who will tell you to just go for it when it comes to love, without understanding the deeper emotions involved. Role in the plot: Tessa is a light-hearted character who brings humor and warmth to the story. Her conversations with Maggie offer some of the film's funniest moments, as Tessa's views on love are often idealistic and overly simplistic. Despite her somewhat misguided approach to relationships, Tessa helps Maggie realize that sometimes love isn't about following a perfect script. It's about taking risks and being vulnerable. Tessa also provides emotional support for Jake, encouraging him to pursue his feelings for Maggie. 5. Doug, played by Truglio. Character type: the eccentric but lovable town character. Character traits: quirky and funny. Doug is the town's lovable, if somewhat odd, resident who's always volunteering for every Christmas event, no matter how ridiculous. Optimistic but oblivious. Doug has a tendency to insert himself into situations without fully understanding the dynamics, often leading to funny misunderstandings. He's well-meaning but sometimes a little off the wall. Heart of gold. Despite his eccentricities, Doug cares deeply about the town and its traditions. His love for Hollybrook and Christmas is as big as Jake's, though he might show it in a more unconventional way. Role in the plot: Doug's role is largely comedic but also adds to the film's heartwarming sense of community. His antics provide levity during the more tense moments of the movie. Doug's involvement in the competition and his unwavering belief in the magic of the holiday season remind both Maggie and Jake of the importance of coming together as a community, not just as a couple. 6. The town of Hollybrook, supporting characters. The town itself, with its quaint charm and close-knit community, plays a subtle yet important role in Hot Frosty. The residents of Hollybrook, including the townsfolk who cheer on the Frosty Cup competition, represent the warmth, joy, and unity of the Christmas season. They are a reflection of what Maggie learns over the course of the movie, that love and Christmas are about community, connection, and being present with those you care about. These characters are what make Hot Frosty such a heartwarming and entertaining holiday film. Through their development, humor, and interactions, the movie explores themes of love, healing, and the magic of Christmas. Each character brings something essential to the table, whether it's the romantic lead, the comic relief, or the wise advisor. Together, they create the perfect blend of holiday cheer and romantic tension, making this a film that'll stick with you long after the credits roll. Here's a breakdown of the cast for Hot Frosty 2024, along with the roles they play. 1. Lacey Chabert as Maggie Frost. Asterisk role. Maggie Frost is a talented but emotionally closed-off ice sculptor who has lost her love for Christmas after a painful breakup. She is forced to team up with Jake Hainline in the town's Frosty Cup snowman building contest, and over the course of the movie, she learns to embrace both the holiday spirit and love again. Asterisk notable works. Lacey Chabert is known for her roles in Mean Girls, the Hallmark Channel Christmas movies, and Party of Five. She has become a staple in holiday films, particularly romantic comedies, and is beloved for her warm and relatable performances. 2. Dustin Milligan as Jake Hainline. Asterisk role. Jake Hainline is the charming, Christmas-loving owner of the Hollybrook Christmas Tree Farm. He's a big-hearted, easygoing guy who has always been in love with Maggie but hasn't been able to win her over. Jake believes in the magic of Christmas and hopes that working together on the Frosty Cup contest will bring them closer and rekindle Maggie's belief in both the holiday season and love. Asterisk notable works. Dustin Milligan is known for his roles in Schitt's Creek, The X-Files, and 90210. He has a knack for playing warm, relatable characters and has a natural charm that makes him a great fit for the romantic lead in this holiday rom-com. 3. Katy Mixon as Greer. Asterisk role. Greer is Maggie's best friend, a bubbly, over-the-top Christmas enthusiast who is determined to get Maggie into the holiday spirit. She's the one who convinces Maggie to join the Frosty Cup contest and helps push her out of her emotionally closed-off shell. Greer's infectious enthusiasm for Christmas is a source of comedy and heart throughout the film. Asterisk notable works. Katy Mixon is known for her roles in Mike and Molly and American Housewife. She's a comedic actress with a talent for playing fun, energetic, and heartwarming characters. Her portrayal of Greer brings a lot of the humor and lightness to the film. 4. Lauren Holly as Tessa. Asterisk role. Tessa is Jake's cousin and the owner of a local bakery. She's a hopeless romantic and always full of advice about relationships, even if it's sometimes a little misguided. She helps both Jake and Maggie realize that love doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be real. Asterisk notable works. Lauren Holly is best known for her roles in Dumb and Dumber, Picket Fences, and NCIS. She brings a seasoned charm to the role of Tessa, offering a balance of wisdom and comedic timing in her interactions with the other characters. 5. Chris Hell as Tessa's friend, supporting role. Asterisk role. Chris Hell plays a supporting character who adds to the film's lighthearted atmosphere. She often serves as a comedic sidekick to Greer or as an added source of advice and friendship throughout Maggie and Jake's evolving romance. Asterisk notable works. Chris Hell is known for her work in Selling Sunset, Days of Our Lives, and This Is Us. Her presence brings an additional layer of charm and warmth to the ensemble cast. 6. Joe Truglio as Doug. Asterisk role. Doug is a quirky, lovable, and slightly eccentric resident of Hollybrook who is always getting involved in the town's Christmas events. While he may be a bit odd, Doug's heart is pure, and his commitment to spreading Christmas cheer adds to the festive and joyful atmosphere of the movie. Asterisk notable works. Joe Truglio is known for his roles in Superbad, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and The State. He's a comedic actor known for his offbeat humor and ability to bring eccentric characters to life. 7. Craig Robinson as Town Mayor, supporting role. Asterisk role. Craig Robinson plays the quirky mayor of Hollybrook, a warm and jovial figure who loves the holiday season and has a soft spot for all the town's Christmas traditions. While his role is more background, he helps to provide some of the comedic and festive moments throughout the film, especially in the town's preparations for the Frosty Cup. Asterisk notable works. Craig Robinson is known for his roles in The Office, Pineapple Express, and Hot Tub Time Machine. He has a fantastic comedic timing and often plays larger-than-life characters who are both funny and endearing. Supporting cast. Asterisk other residents of Hollybrook. Several other supporting characters in Hollybrook, such as the town's volunteers and festival participants, helped to create the vibrant, festive atmosphere of the town. Their interactions with Maggie, Jake, and the main characters add to the movie's theme of community and togetherness during the holidays. Final thoughts on the cast. The cast of Hot Frosty is filled with talent that blends the perfect mix of comedy, heart, and holiday cheer. From Lacey Chabert's relatable performance as Maggie Frost to Dustin Milligan's charming portrayal of Jake, this ensemble brings the script to life in a way that feels both heartwarming and humorous. The supporting characters, including Greer, played by Katy Mixon, Tessa, Lauren Holly, and the lovable Doug, Joe Lo Truglio, add even more color and personality to the movie, making Hot Frosty a delightful Christmas rom-com for audiences of all ages. With an ensemble cast that knows how to deliver both laughs and tender moments, Hot Frosty is sure to become a go-to holiday movie for anyone looking for a mix of romance, comedy, and Christmas magic. Production of Hot Frosty, 2024. 1. Development and conceptualization. Origin of the film. Hot Frosty was conceived as a holiday romantic comedy, capitalizing on the popular and ever-growing genre of Christmas-themed films. The idea for the story was developed by Russell Hainline, the film's screenwriter, who sought to blend elements of traditional holiday storytelling with the modern charm of opposites attracting. The concept focused on the rejuvenating power of Christmas, an element that has resonated deeply with audiences of all ages. The core idea was simple. Two people, each emotionally guarded in their own way, come together through the communal event of a Christmas contest, leading them to discover love, friendship, and the magic of the season. Hainline's script aimed to offer more than just holiday fluff. He wanted to include genuine emotional stakes, showing how Christmas can help people heal from past trauma, rediscover joy, and open their hearts to new possibilities. With its blend of humor, heartfelt moments, and romance, the script was designed to be both funny and touching, with layers that would engage viewers beyond the usual holiday tropes. 2. Directorial vision and approach. Director, Jerry Ciccoritti. The film was helmed by Jerry Ciccoritti, a seasoned director known for his versatility across genres, but particularly for his work on television films and romantic comedies. Ciccoritti was drawn to Hot Frosty because of its heartwarming message, which aligned perfectly with his filmmaking sensibilities. He approached the project with a deep understanding of how to balance humor with emotional resonance, ensuring that the film would not only be lighthearted but also meaningful. Ciccoritti's experience with ensemble casts helped bring a sense of chemistry and authenticity to the film, as the characters' dynamics play a crucial role in the development of the story. He emphasized the importance of creating real, grounded characters, especially Maggie and Jake, who would connect with the audience on an emotional level. At the same time, he worked closely with the screenwriter and producers to ensure that the humor was sharp but never overshadowed the central themes of love, vulnerability, and the holiday spirit. 3. Casting. The casting process for Hot Frosty was integral to the success of the film, as the chemistry between the lead characters and the ensemble was paramount to delivering the right mix of comedy and romance. Lacey Chabert as Maggie Frost. Lacey Chabert was cast in the lead role of Maggie Frost, a character who is emotionally closed off due to past heartbreak but learns to rediscover the magic of Christmas. Chabert's casting was a natural choice given her long history with holiday films, particularly romantic comedies. Her ability to balance humor with emotional depth made her the perfect fit for the role. With a background in both comedic and dramatic roles, Mean Girls, Christmas in Rome, The 12 Men of Christmas, Chabert brought a grounded, relatable quality to Maggie's character. Dustin Milligan as Jake Hanley. The role of Jake Hanley, the charming and cheerful Christmas enthusiast, went to Dustin Milligan. Milligan, known for his roles in Schitt's Creek and 90210, was chosen for his natural charisma and ability to play characters who are both lovable and genuine. Jake's character, with his unwavering optimism and emotional patience, needed an actor who could convey warmth and vulnerability while still being a strong romantic lead. Milligan's natural ease and charm brought Jake to life, making him a character viewers could root for from start to finish. Katy Mixon as Greer. Katy Mixon was cast as Greer, Maggie's best friend and the town's biggest Christmas enthusiast. Greer's over-the-top personality and love for the holiday season required an actor who could balance comedic timing with sincerity. Mixon, known for her roles in Mike and Molly and American Housewife, was a great choice for the role. Her energetic and playful nature allowed her to bring Greer to life in a way that provided much-needed humor and levity to the film. Lauren Holly as Tessa. Lauren Holly took on the role of Tessa, Jake's cousin and the owner of the local bakery. Tessa serves as the well-meaning but slightly overzealous advisor to both Jake and Maggie. Holly's extensive career in both comedy and drama, e.g., Dumb and Dumber, NCIS, Picket Fences, made her the ideal candidate to bring Tessa's character to life. Her warmth and wit brought a comforting, maternal energy to the film, offering valuable insights to the protagonists while also adding her own touch of humor. Joe Truglio as Doug. Joe Truglio, known for his role in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, was cast as Doug, the quirky, lovable local town member who is always involved in the Christmas festivities. Truglio's ability to play oddball characters with a heart of gold made him an obvious choice for Doug. His comedic timing and delivery of offbeat lines added a fun, spontaneous element to the film. Craig Robinson as the town mayor. Craig Robinson, a beloved actor known for his comedic roles in The Office and Pineapple Express, was cast as the mayor of Hollybrook. Robinson's role, while supporting, contributed to the film's humorous and heartwarming tone. As the jovial mayor of the small town, his character offered a fun, larger-than-life presence in the community, encouraging everyone to take part in the Frosty Cup and celebrating the town's love for Christmas. 4. Filming locations and set design. The production team decided to film Hot Frosty in a charming, snowy town setting that would reflect the whimsical and heartwarming nature of the story. The town of Hollybrook was carefully designed to resemble a quintessential Christmas village, with cobblestone streets lined with festive lights, decorated storefronts, and snowy rooftops. The fictional town was created using both on-location shoots in small towns in Ontario, Canada, and some set design work done in studio. One of the film's most iconic locations is Jake's Christmas tree farm, a lush, picturesque plot of land surrounded by rows of freshly cut Christmas trees, which served as both a backdrop for key romantic scenes and a location for much of the post-production and editing. After filming wrapped, the movie entered post-production, where editing and special effects helped shape the final product. Editor, Michelle Tesoro, known for her work on The Bold Type and other romantic comedies, played a key role in ensuring that the pacing of the film flowed smoothly, with the right release of Hot Frosty, 2024. The release of Hot Frosty marked an important event for both the film's cast and crew, as well as fans of Christmas rom-coms. The film was released on November 13, 2024, and it quickly became a significant addition to the holiday movie lineup for 2024. Here's a detailed breakdown of the release process and reception of the film. 1. Distribution, Netflix. Hot Frosty was released exclusively on Netflix. Netflix, known for its vast collection of holiday films and romantic comedies, has long been a go-to platform for viewers seeking seasonal movies. With Hot Frosty, Netflix added another highly anticipated holiday film to its slate, particularly attracting fans of rom-coms and festive movies. By releasing the film early in November, Netflix strategically positioned Hot Frosty as a holiday classic in the making, ensuring that audiences could enjoy it throughout the entire holiday season. The movie was made available to Netflix subscribers worldwide, giving it a global audience from day one. This also allowed the film to capitalize on the growing popularity of Netflix's Christmas movie releases, which are known to perform well in the weeks leading up to Christmas. 2. Marketing and promotions. Ahead of its release, Hot Frosty was promoted heavily through social media, Netflix's platform, and various holiday-themed marketing campaigns. The marketing strategy focused on emphasizing the festive elements of the movie, the romance between the two leads, and the overall feel-good nature of the story. Asterisk teasers and trailers. The first trailer for Hot Frosty was released in mid-October 2024, giving fans a sneak peek of the film's tone, characters, and key plot points. It showcased the vibrant, snowy town of Hollybrook, the heartwarming romance between Maggie and Jake, and the playful competition at the heart of the movie. Asterisk social media campaigns. Netflix used its strong social media presence to promote Hot Frosty by sharing behind-the-scenes photos, cast interviews, and quotes from the movie. Special emphasis was placed on sharing festive, visually stunning images from the film, showcasing the Christmas decorations, snow-filled landscapes, and the film's comedic moments. Asterisk Christmas Countdown. In early November, Netflix launched a Christmas countdown campaign featuring Hot Frosty as one of its key holiday releases. Along with other holiday films, the campaign encouraged fans to start their Christmas movie marathon early, building anticipation for the film's premiere. Asterisk cast interviews and press. The film's lead cast members, including Lacey Chabert and Dustin Milligan, participated in interviews with major outlets like Entertainment Weekly, Variety, and People. They discussed their characters, the joy of filming a Christmas movie, and the positive message of the film. The cast also made appearances on talk shows and Christmas-themed events to promote the film. 3. Reception from audiences and critics. Audience reception. Upon its release, Hot Frosty was embraced by audiences, particularly those who are fans of heartwarming Christmas rom-coms. The film quickly became a top trending title on Netflix, as subscribers flocked to watch the latest Christmas movie offering. The film was praised for its asterisk chemistry between the leads. Lacey Chabert and Dustin Milligan received significant praise for their on-screen dynamic. Their natural chemistry brought authenticity to their romantic journey, with many viewers commenting that they enjoyed the slow-burn romance and the emotional development of their characters. Asterisk festive atmosphere. The production design, snow-filled setting, and overall Christmas ambience were a hit with fans of holiday films. The town of Hollybrook, with its cozy vibes, tree farms, and snowy streets, provided the perfect backdrop for a Christmas romance. Asterisk heartwarming themes. Fans appreciated the movie's emphasis on themes like vulnerability, healing from past wounds, and finding love during the holiday season. Many viewers shared on social media how the film helped them feel uplifted and reinvigorated their love for Christmas. While Hot Frosty may have followed some traditional rom-com tropes, its heartfelt performances and relatable characters made it a standout addition to the genre. Audience reviews on platforms like IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes reflected an overall positive reception, with many calling it a new holiday classic. Critical reception. Critics, while generally positive about the movie's charm, offered mixed reviews regarding its predictability. Many critics noted that while Hot Frosty adhered to the conventions of the romantic comedy genre, it did so with a refreshing sincerity. Reviews focused on asterisk strong performances. The cast, particularly Lacey Chabert and Dustin Milligan, was praised for their warm and believable portrayals of the film's central couple. Chabert, known for her work in holiday films, was especially recognized for adding depth to her character, while Milligan's portrayal of Jake was deemed both endearing and sincere. Asterisk holiday magic. The film's ability to capture the spirit of Christmas was widely appreciated. Critics noted that the snowy settings, the emphasis on community, and the warmth of the characters created the perfect atmosphere for a festive holiday film. Asterisk formulaic plot. Some critics argued that the plot followed familiar beats of the rom-com genre, with a predictable trajectory and an easy resolution. However, most acknowledged that the film's charm and heartfelt performances were enough to make up for the lack of groundbreaking storytelling. Despite some criticism for predictability, Hot Frosty was overall received as a well-executed holiday film that delivers on what it promises: fun, romance, and a dose of Christmas magic. Streaming success and popularity. Hot Frosty became an instant holiday streaming hit on Netflix. During its first weekend, the film ranked among the top 10 most watched films in multiple countries, including the United States, Canada, the UK, and several European nations. It became a fan favorite for families, couples, and individuals looking for a heartwarming and cheerful movie to get into the Christmas spirit. Given the movie's early release in November, it had the benefit of a long holiday season to maintain its momentum. By mid-December, Hot Frosty was being recommended on social media platforms like Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, with fans sharing their favorite quotes, scenes, and moments from the film. Social media buzz helped keep the movie in the spotlight as the holiday season reached its peak. Netflix also capitalized on the film's success by continuing to feature it in prominent holiday-themed playlists and recommendations, ensuring that Hot Frosty remained a fixture for viewers looking to fill their holiday movie queues. 5. Long-term legacy and potential for sequels. As is often the case with successful holiday films, Hot Frosty is expected to continue to be a part of Netflix's annual Christmas offerings. Given the warm reception from audiences, it is likely that the film will be revisited by viewers each holiday season, cementing its place in the growing canon of Christmas rom-coms. There have been rumors and fan speculation about the possibility of a sequel, especially given the movie's success and the ending that leaves room for further exploration of the characters' relationship. Though no official sequel has been announced as of yet, the positive reception of the film suggests that Hot Frosty could become a franchise in the future, with additional holiday-themed installments or spin-offs focusing on other characters in the town of Hollybrook. Conclusion: Hot Frosty was a highly successful Christmas romantic comedy that resonated with both audiences and critics for its charming performances, festive atmosphere, and heartwarming themes. By strategically releasing it early in the holiday season on Netflix, the film quickly became a go-to choice for Christmas movie lovers. With its universal appeal and relatable characters, Hot Frosty is well on its way to becoming a holiday classic, with the potential for continued success in the years to come. If you're looking for a movie that delivers on romance, humor, and Christmas magic, Hot Frosty is sure to be a repeat watch for years to come. Box office performance of Hot Frosty, 2024. While Hot Frosty was released exclusively on Netflix and did not have a traditional theatrical release, it is still important to understand its box office and financial success in the broader context of its distribution model. Netflix's exclusive streaming releases don't typically generate box office revenue in the traditional sense, but there are alternative ways to measure a film's success, particularly in the streaming era. 1. Netflix streaming metrics. Netflix's subscription model. Since Hot Frosty was a Netflix exclusive, the main measure of its financial success comes from how it contributed to Netflix's subscriber base and overall engagement. Netflix does not disclose exact viewer numbers for specific films, but it has a system to track how well a movie performs based on a variety of factors, including total hours watched, the amount of time viewers spend watching Hot Frosty during its initial release period, especially over the first few weeks, total views. Netflix often provides metrics for how many accounts watched a movie, but this does not account for the number of views per individual account. Viewer retention. How many viewers return to watch the film multiple times, especially during key holiday periods. Top 10 in multiple regions. Upon its release on November 13, 2024, Hot Frosty quickly became a top-performing film on Netflix's global rankings, consistently holding a spot in the top 10 most watched films in multiple countries, including United States. In the first 2 weeks, the movie ranked in the top 5 of Netflix's most watched films, with a particularly strong showing in the romantic comedy and holiday movie categories. Canada. Similarly, Hot Frosty was trending among Canadian viewers, who are big fans of holiday-themed films, maintaining its position in the top 3 for over a week. Europe and international markets. The film also made waves across European countries like the UK, Germany, France, and Italy, becoming one of the most watched Netflix releases in the run-up to Christmas. In terms of Netflix's content strategy, the success of Hot Frosty reflects the platform's ongoing focus on building a diverse library of seasonal content, which consistently attracts repeat viewers during the holiday season. Netflix has shown that holiday films, especially romantic comedies, tend to have long-term success, especially when they align with global holiday traditions. 2. Licensing and merchandising potential. While the movie did not have a theatrical box office release, there are other ways Hot Frosty could generate revenue. Licensing. Netflix may have entered into licensing agreements for Hot Frosty to be broadcast or made available on other platforms, or in regions where Netflix operates through partnerships. This includes international markets where local networks might have special deals for airing Netflix content. Additionally, Licensing deals with streaming services in other countries could drive more viewership. Asterisk merchandising. Given its Christmas theme, Hot Frosty could potentially extend its revenue through merchandising. While not guaranteed, Netflix and the film's producers could partner with brands or retailers to create Christmas-themed products, such as asterisk holiday decorations inspired by the movie, including Frosty Cup snowman building kits or themed ornaments, asterisk clothing and accessories such as t-shirts, pajamas, or socks with quotes from the film or characters like Maggie, Jake, and Greer, asterisk soundtracks featuring the film's original score or holiday music, which could be released in conjunction with the movie. While these types of sales are more common with high-profile blockbuster movies, Netflix has been known to branch into merchandising for its original films, and Hot Frosty could be a potential contender for such opportunities, particularly as it gains traction during the holiday season. 3. Viewership success and cultural impact. 4. Financial estimates and production budget. While Netflix does not typically disclose detailed box office figures or production costs, we can make educated guesses about the financial performance of Hot Frosty based on industry standards for similar holiday rom-coms. Romantic comedies on streaming platforms like Netflix typically have moderate production budgets ranging from $10 million to $25 million. Assuming Hot Frosty had a budget on the higher end of that range, around $15 million to $20 million, its primary financial success would come from streaming revenue, including increased subscriber retention and new sign-ups during the holiday season. If the film attracts millions of viewers over the course of the holiday season, it could potentially exceed its production budget in direct financial benefits to Netflix through user engagement. 5. Legacy and long-term success. Looking ahead, the long-term financial success of Hot Frosty could be solidified through asterisk holiday movie rotation. Netflix regularly brings back popular holiday titles as part of its seasonal content rotation. As long as the film remains a viewer favorite, it will continue to generate viewership year after year during the Christmas season. Asterisk global appeal. Hot Frosty's universal themes of love, friendship, and Christmas cheer give it strong potential for longevity. Since Netflix operates worldwide, the film's charm transcends cultural boundaries, allowing it to be a hit in many regions with varying holiday traditions. As international subscribers engage with the movie, it stands to have a consistent and growing viewership. Asterisk new releases in the franchise. If the movie's success leads to sequels or spin-offs, these could build on the original film's success and generate additional revenue streams. A potential series set in Hollybrook could explore different characters or new holiday traditions, expanding the world of Hot Frosty. Conclusion. Though Hot Frosty was released as an exclusive Netflix film and didn't have a traditional box office run, it performed very well in the streaming realm. With a strong viewership during the early release period, positive audience reception, and growing social media buzz, the film is poised to become a holiday classic for Netflix subscribers in the years to come. Ultimately, Hot Frosty exemplifies the power of streaming platforms in defining the success of modern films. Its cultural impact, high viewership numbers, and potential for long-term popularity make it a profitable and successful release for Netflix. I am personally of the belief that all Christmas movies should wait until after Thanksgiving. It just stopped being ADF 26C. In New York City last week, yikes. I cannot fault a movie for being exactly what it sets out to be. The trailer for Hot Frosty, Netflix's newest foray into Hallmark's holiday territory, promised to answer the question no one was asking. What if Frosty the Snowman had abs? Curious minds do, in fact, want to know. Thankfully, the actual finished product, 90 minutes of extremely unserious, occasionally sweet fluff written by Russell Hainline, delivers logistical and spiritual answers to the quandary of half-naked alive snowman with complete dedication to the genre. Said snowman, Jack, Dustin Milligan, awakens with barely a strategically placed scarf to cover him. The town of Hope Springs is even more of a New England, by way of Canada, mirage than Gilmore Girls' Stars Hollow. The snow is obviously styrofoam. All the old women are horny. Also, Chris Hellstause lives there. Merry Christmas. I have to appreciate a film that gets down to business immediately, 10 minutes after we learn that Kathy, Mean Girls' Lacey Chabert, lives in a broken-down house, owns a cafe, sorry, Kathy's cafe, and is sad and alone. She has a ripped human icebox on her hands. Because she put the scarf on him, he has imprinted on her and says he loves her immediately. He runs cold, so he almost never wears a shirt. It would be nice if Mulligan's abs came with slightly less childlike performance. Kathy's doctor friend, Katy Mixon, concludes that Jack's body temperature is below freezing, and thus he is definitely a snowman. A fact most of the townspeople accept quite quickly because, as the kindly vintage store owner Jane Lauren Holly puts it, a man that's sweet has just got to be magic, don't you think? The point of Jack, so much as one exists, is to help Kathy heal following the death of her beloved husband from cancer, revealed by a doctor's note that says, chemotherapy will start immediately, in Comic Sans. Thank you, director Jerry Ciccoritti. And the point of Hot Frosty, so much as there is one, is meringue light fantasy fulfillment, other than the fact that Jack does not know how to kiss or ask Kathy on a date. But he is a quick learner, eager to cook dinner and fix the house, gets along with everyone and, again, never wants to wear a shirt. They don't make real snowmen like this anymore. The only issue is that the sheriff, Nate, Craig Robinson, clearly having a ball, is a caricature of a cop trying to make a name by arresting the mysterious long-haired streaker seen about town. Robinson and his deputy, Joe Truglio, enliven Hot Frosty with a comically overdone good cop/bad cop routine and extremely arbitrary bail costs. A necessary addition given that there's not much to Jack besides abs and elf-life cheeriness. He, too, prefers straight sugar along with ice cubes, but never fear, though Chabert stirs some feeling as a woman who already witnessed one man die and might have to see another literally melt to death. Hot Frosty is overwhelmingly ridiculous cheer. It delivers on most everything one could hope from a movie called Hot Frosty. Adults attending a middle school dance just because, a Lindsay Lohan Mean Girls/Falling for Christmas reference, a woman shouting, "What can I do? You can't defibrillate a snowman," and the single ugliest snowflake necklace I've ever seen in my life. I'm as much a skeptic as anyone of Netflix's penchant for framing movies as content, for priming audiences to view films as cheap and disposable. But there's little to hate on here. It's a sincerely stupid idea executed sincerely, with seemingly complete buy-in from all involved that yes, this is a movie about a snowman with abs. I'll take that type of brain freeze, for now, for a film with a title that sounds like an entry on Urban Dictionary. Hot Frosty is surprisingly light on sexual content. This is for the best, for reasons that will be explained. The naughtiness in this Netflix Christmas movie is confined to self-aware, shirtless moments, where the audience is encouraged to ogle the male lead as he prances around a snowy town square or fixes a leaky roof or whatever with his pecs hanging out. He's not bothered by the cold, you see, because he's a snowman. Like, a literal snowman. The film, functionally directed by prolific Canadian jobber Jerry Ciccoritti, handwaves away this miraculous development as the magic of Christmas, which is fair. The magic of Christmas can do anything, as long as it's happening in a picturesque burg where everyone loves Christmas and everything is perfect, except for the love life of a deserving woman whose biggest flaw is that she cares too much about this town and its people. Star Lacey Chabert specializes in these sorts of characters. Her IMDb page lists 14 films with the word Christmas in the title, only one of which is a horror movie. She comes to this particular straight-to-streaming project with tongue planted in cheek, the only facial expression she can manage in this movie, as does the rest of the cast. The self-aware intentions behind Hot Frosty, seriously ew, are clear in its casting, which includes Mixon Greer as a doctor with an unwavering faith in Christmas miracles and reliable comedic supporting players Joe Truglio and Craig Robinson as the town's unnecessarily punitive lawmen. Specifically, Robinson's sheriff character is hellbent on sending somebody to jail for the crimes of streaking across the public way and breaking into a local thrift store to steal some clothes. Both were, of course, committed by Jack Snowman. Here's the pitch for Hot Frosty. A widow wraps an enchanted scarf around a hunky snowman who springs to life and professes his love. Here are the two possible audience reactions. How dumb, and how dumb. Can't wait to watch. Lacey Chabert, the star of more than 30 Hallmark Channel romances, checks into work as Kathy, a generically sweet small-town diner owner with little to do besides repeat the premise until everyone is on board. You just buy that he's a snowman? She sputters to her fellow residents of Hope Springs. Dustin Milligan, The aforementioned frozen figure who comes to life after lonely widow/beloved diner owner Lacey Chabert places a magic scarf around his neck and wishes for male companionship. The snowman is cut, a conspicuously Michelangelo's David-esque entry in the snow sculpture contest Hot Frosty features in its first 5 minutes, and therefore so is his human form, in that dehydrated, bulging arm veins and an 8-pack kind of way. Where Chabert's face remains placid, Milligan's is all expression, and he really is trying his hardest to bring a slapstick sensibility to an absurd role as, well, there's no other way to put it, but to quote here's the pitch for Hot Frosty. A widow wraps an enchanted scarf around a hunky snowman who springs to life and professes his love. Here are the 2 possible audience reactions. How dumb, and how dumb. Can't wait to watch. Lacey Chabert, the star of more than 30 Hallmark Channel romances, checks into work as Kathy, a generically sweet small-town diner owner with little to do besides repeat the premise until everyone is on board. You just buy that he's a snowman? She sputters to her fellow residents of Hope Springs. The snowman is a sex idiot. He's also kind of a puppy, in the sense that he might die if he's left in a hot car too long. On top of the type of amnesia that only exists in the movies, Jack is childlike or naive, trusting, to the point where it's arguably unethical for a full-grown adult to become romantically involved with him. And so much of the film's tension comes from the uncomfortable anticipation of waiting for the point where Kathy says to herself, I'm gonna screw this snowman. It's not right, frankly, but in a giggly, jaw-dropping kind of way. It's also kind of funny if you don't take it too seriously, and nothing about this film is supposed to be taken seriously. It's fun to write about and, for the most part, fun to watch. That being said, the comedy is extremely one-note, and Hot Frosty's bemused smirk gets more and more strained as the bit wears on to feature length. No matter. The director Jerry Ciccoritti knows all eyes are on Jack, Dustin Milligan. A shirtless naif with the soul of a labradoodle and the abs of a supermodel. I am not cold, he insists with a twinkle. Jack adores fixing roofs, befriending children, baking homemade pizza and rubbing ice on his bare chest. Nevertheless, Kathy is slow to warm to his charms. Shaking up holiday traditions in irreverently welcome ways, director Jerry Ciccoritti and writer Russell Hainline's Hot Frosty redesigns the look and feel of the familiar Snowmaid showcase. Their story, centered on a wishful widow who magically transforms a snowman into a hunky rube, balances its sillier aspects with a touching sense of sincerity. They do away with the cartoonish character's corncob pipe, coal eyes, and rotund body, replacing these features with beefy biceps, chiseled bone structure, and sculpted abs. The narrative delivers some refreshing highlights for the benefit of Netflix's holiday cinematic universe, specifically acknowledging its target audience's yearning for a sprinkling of cheeky, wanton lust alongside its gentle yet genuine dramatics. In the days before Christmas, Kathy's married friends repay her kindness with a red cozy scarf, hoping it'll bring her some extra cheer and seasonal magic. And sure enough, it does. Kathy wraps it around an unconventional snowman sculpture in the center square, and, in the middle of the night as snowflakes swirl and magical chimes tinkle on the soundtrack, he's transformed into a naked hot dude named Jack, Dustin Milligan. Kathy takes pity on him, feeling she's at fault, and lets him stay at her home. He's warmly welcomed by the other women in town, but the calamity he caused on his first night leads to a frosty reception from Sheriff Hunter, Craig Robinson, and Deputy Shots, Joe Lo Truglio. Yet time and temperature aren't on the potential couple's side. Kathy is forced to decide whether to stay frozen when it comes to romance or to thaw her heart. Though much of this might read like a splash redux, this festive film's finer details go beyond its predecessor, thanks to some added charm and ingenuity. Its meet-cute and satisfying resolution are all tightened for maximum efficiency. Instead of blatantly objectifying its leading man, there's shrewd reasoning to all the ogling. He gets too hot with clothes on. Jack's fish-out-of-water circumstances, while indeed funny, mostly revolve around the hubba-hubba factor of him being shirtless at inappropriate times, streaking across town in front of elderly citizens, almost unwittingly stripping in front of Kathy and doffing his shirt in frigid outdoor weather, which causes a horny woman, Lauren Holly, to get in an accident. A gender-flipped makeover montage isn't necessarily the refreshing game-changer it once was for the rom-com genre. But as a Pretty Woman spoof, it's likely to win over the most cynical of viewers. Conflicts and conundrums don't overstay their welcome, nor do they overcomplicate themselves. Jack doesn't solely exist to aid Kathy's arc and vice versa. They both complement and rescue each other from varying degrees of peril. She helps him stay freezing and thus alive, and he helps her allow love back into her life. From her internal struggle, as her romantic drive is reflected by the home's thermostat, to an inspired pull from It's a Wonderful Life, the film's earnest qualities feel resonant even within a height comedic atmosphere. Eagle-eyed fans of the NHCU will assuredly have a good time spotting all the callbacks intelligently incorporated throughout. Not only does it allude to the home country in The Christmas Prince and nod to Single All the Way, but it's smart enough to earn chuckles by dropping two movie references at once in a self-aware joke from Chabert after she sees her, Mean Girls, co-star Lindsay Lohan in Falling for Christmas. Chabert, having recently abdicated the throne as the reigning queen of Hallmark movies, nimbly negotiates the broader comedic tones of the material, grounding the magical realism in emotional honesty. She gifts her protagonist with deep wells of wisdom, perseverance, and vulnerability. Milligan turns in a muscular performance, channeling naive innocence with dashing wit and a compelling command, outfitting his character with a bright interiority. Although Katy Mixon Greer is dealt short shrift in her supporting role as Kathy's friend Dr. Dottie, Lo Truglio's doofy cop shtick augments the proceedings. Robinson is also funny as the foe, but he has the misfortune of pulling off the film's weakest scene when his character mistakes simple wordplay for a metaphor. Underneath the gimmicky title of Hot Frosty lies a sweet, disarming feature about healing from tragedy. It's also just a goofy, lovable no-brainer to click play on when craving escapism. Heartfelt sentiments coupled with a musical boost from Coldplay on the soundtrack make for a fun, saucy Secret Santa gift with a soul. Netflix's Hot Frosty has all the markings of a typical Hallmark or Lifetime holiday romance, with one addition: pecs. Round, bulging, rippling pectoral muscles taking up a disproportionate amount of screen real estate. The rom-com starring Lacey Chabert and Dustin Milligan is a riff on Frosty the Snowman. But the gag is that he's hot, in case that wasn't immediately clear. Brought to life by a magical scarf, Hot Frosty brings joy and happiness to pretty much everyone in town. From the horned-up older ladies to the wistful widow, played by Chabert, who thought she might never find love again. Opening shot. A silk top hat glides through the air on a wintry breeze, as a narrator explains, since the dawn of time, Christmas fairy tales have often included the wonder of a snowman come to life, destined to bring its magic to the right person. The hat floats down to the ground, landing in the middle of a road where it promptly gets run over by a car. But those fairy tales have never been told like this, our narrator adds. The gist: Lacey Chabert plays Kathy, the owner of a local diner in the quaint little town of Hope Springs. Recently widowed after her husband Paul was diagnosed with a fast-moving cancer, Kathy's life has been at a standstill for months. All the little house projects, like fixing her heat and replacing the leaking roof, those were things that Paul was going to fix. Now that he's gone, Kathy just hasn't had the mental energy to address them. And besides, she's busy running their restaurant. So she sits shivering in her freezing house alone, focused on work and nothing else. When Kathy brings lunch to her friends who run the local thrift shop, they can see that she's been struggling and lonely, and they gift her a scarf, telling her, "Good things come to you when you're out in the cold, Kathy." It's a metaphor, but it's also very, very literal, because later that night, as Kathy is walking through the snow sculptures that people have created in the town square, she plops the scarf around the neck of a snowman. A snowman someone has sculpted with the body of Adonis. While the original Frosty was brought to life because there must have been some magic in that old silk hat they found, Hot Frosty, played by Dustin Milligan, who wasn't nearly this sculpted, was he. When he played Ted on Schitt's Creek, is brought to life by this red knit scarf, and boy is he excited to be alive. After Kathy goes home for the night, Hot Frosty breaks into the thrift shop where he dresses in a stolen pair of coveralls with the name Jack patched onto them, and the next day, Kathy finds him in the town square ranting and raving, in a good way. I guess it's about how happy he is to be alive. Kathy takes him in and eventually figures out that this is all her doing. She brought this chiseled specimen to life with her enchanted thrift store scarf. But unfortunately for her and Jack, we're calling him Jack now. The local police chief and his lackey, played by Craig Robinson and Joe Truglio, are looking for him, since he broke into the thrift store and now he's wanted for theft. Kathy brings Jack to her house to hide him from the law, telling him not to leave. It's while he's holed up here watching Food Network and home repair shows that he learns how to cook and fix her house. And he watches travel shows where he learns about places like Hawaii. It's like he's E.T. with that speak and spell but on steroids. Wait, is he on steroids? But he's not content to stay put. So he meets some of Kathy's neighbors, like Jane, Lauren Holly, who has zero problem ogling Jack and bringing her friends over to do the same. And Jack, now armed with all kinds of construction skills, starts volunteering at the local school where he befriends all the students. But once the law actually catches up to Jack and he's thrown in jail, it's a race against time because, he's a snowman and he can't be left in a hot jail cell for too long, otherwise he'll die. As he languishes in jail, he melts metaphorically. He kind of sweats to death, only to be revived when Kathy kisses him. It's like E.T. when he goes into quarantine and dies, only to be revived by the love Elliot has for him. Wait, is this movie just our take? Hot Frosty is a great title for what's ultimately just a pretty good film. As you can tell by all the other films referenced so far in this review, this one owes a lot to many features that came before it, from whimsical romances to fish-out-of-water tales to stories of magic and enchantment, and it really isn't shy about hitting you over the head with those references. But Hot Frosty has so much more potential, and it feels like it was squandered. Robinson and Truglio are the two cast members in this film known for their comedic work, on The Office and With the State and Reno 911, respectively, and their presence in the film might be the most annoying and unfunny thing about it. If we're harping on the film's shortcomings, I'll just go ahead and say this. For a movie that's marketing a jacked-up snowman, it's also just not nearly sexy enough. In a typical network holiday romance, the men are generally worn and kind and asexual, bearing a palatable level of non-toxic masculinity. Hot Frosty gives Jack a body to objectify, but a childlike personality that seems almost inappropriate to fantasize about. But though the film feels like it falls short in some ways, it's still not just your average holiday romance, and it knows exactly what it's doing, appending the expectations we all have for these somewhat sanitized holiday movies. While yes, it feels like there is a soupçon more skin than you'll find in your average Hallmark movie, it's used for comedic effect throughout the film, especially when Lauren Holly's horny neighbor character gets a load of Jack. And the film features several references to other Netflix content, like when flashes of the films while the more traditional alpha male love interest, your Christian Greys, your Danny Zuko's, your Spikes and Angels, are dangerous, dominant bad boys who need to be fixed by the love of a good woman. Our cinnamon rolls are, like their namesakes, softer and sweeter from the offset with a hint of spice thrown in for good measure. They're attractive, but not in a devastatingly handsome kind of way. They're much more approachable, dressed in soft flannels and knitwear as opposed to sharp tailoring and black leather. It's clear that the cinnamon roll archetype is rising in popularity right about now. And not just on screen, but on the page, too. From Laurie Gilmore's The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore to Bonnie Woods' Kindling, this year has been full of cinnamon roll romances for me, says Stephanie Maines, the bookworm behind on TikTok. I love them not just because they're easy reads, but because they're the perfect antidote to the 50 Shades of Grey mania we had a few years back. While they changed the way we read and consume romantic literature, I think many readers have realized that, while we thought we wanted an alpha male in our imaginary world, we actually crave something softer, an antidote to the real world. Person agrees, noting that many women are increasingly attracted to cinnamon roll-type men because they unconsciously appeal to their nurturing nature, but also because bad boys, or players, are becoming old news. In a way, the cinnamon roll embodies healthy masculinity for a growing number of women, she says. And falling for Christmas flip across the TV screen, and with Chris Hellstaw's brief cameo. These moments are brief but rewarding, and I'm here for the subtle nods to the Netflix Christmas cinematic universe. Despite the fact that Hot Frosty doesn't really turn up the heat, it's doing its part to expand and even exceed our expectations of typical holiday rom-coms. I know. A festive rom-com about a snowman who turns into an impossibly attractive man and falls in love with the local hot mess of a widow? Yes, Hot Frosty sounds like something that's been churned out of the Netflix algorithm machine, a box-checking exercise in the world of Christmas romances. we have our nostalgia kick in the form of Mean Girls' Lacey Chabert, a young widow who just can't seem to summon up that all-important Christmas spirit. We also have our traditional small-town setting, and, of course, we have Dustin Milligan, Schitt's Creek, as our wholesome hero, all rippling muscles and puppy-like enthusiasm for the most wonderful time of the year. It's silly. It's incredibly silly, as frothy and frivolous as the cream melting on a mug of hot chocolate. And yet, well, there's something about this one that feels oddly timely. And it all revolves around Milligan's Jack. Hot Frosty is merely the latest in a long line of festive rom-coms that serve up cinnamon rolls. From the holidays Jude Law, oh Mr. Napkin Head, You'll Have Our Hearts Forever, to Kevin and Edward of the Princess Switch movies. This cozy romantic subgenre has become synonymous with good guys, sweet guys. They're single dads putting their hearts on their sleeves and on the line. They're running to the airport to stop the love of their life from leaving them forever. They're baking cakes, crooning love songs, carefully averting their faces from drunken kiss attempts and tenderly tucking blankets around women who have passed out on their beds and sofas. Then leaving the room. You've guessed it. One of the most vital ingredients in the cinnamon roll trope is that these men seek consent, always. If a confused and amnesiac woman stumbles into their path in the wilderness, they'll deliver her to a place of safety. See Falling for Christmas. They might believe they're a snowman or a medieval knight, the night before Christmas, but they otherwise show no signs of dangerous behavior, so much so that they often wind up crashing in the homes of absolute strangers. They're gentle, respectful, and far more likely to be hurt than cause damage, which is likely why so many of us, no matter how seriously we take ourselves, can't help but cocoon ourselves in these beautiful romantic fantasies. 1 in 12 women in the UK are victims of violence each year, and the problem is so large that the National Police Chiefs Council and the College of Policing have said that violence against women and girls had reached epidemic levels. So, it's perhaps unsurprising that we look to escapist films where men behave how we expect them to. In a time when women are more aware than ever of issues around safety and respect, these warm, gentle, and deeply caring characters offer an escape to a world where tenderness and trust lead the way, says Amanda Major, clinical quality director at Perhaps. Then, we're doing the likes of Hot Frosty a huge disservice by writing it off as fluffy fare. Perhaps, amid all of its paint-by-number Hallmark magic, it's actually dealing with a far more complex fantasy, one born from a place of darkness and fear. And perhaps, in gifting us another cinnamon roll, it has provided us with a lovely safe space to dream about a world where sweet men invite us to dances, carry our Christmas trees, tenderly await our nods of approval before they so much as kiss us, and are as fragile as melting snow. Or, it's just a low-stakes romance to enjoy with a Terry's chocolate orange. Your choice. This trope appears to tap into a real craving for vulnerability and mutual support, representing an antidote to aggressive or possessive portrayals of masculinity. She adds, sadly, for many women, this sense of safety, kindness, and emotional connection can feel lacking in real life. Christmas movies can be a balm to the soul during dark, dark times. At their best, they remind us of the kindness that lies in the hearts of humankind. And at their worst, they're still pretty unflappably joyous. Now, I won't promise you Hot Frosty, a new Netflix release about a snowman who becomes a real human man, is on par with holiday classics like A Christmas Story, Home Alone, Elf, Love Actually, or even Gremlins. However, I will assure you it's a delightful treat that's sure to enchant for 90 minutes of seasonal bliss. Yes, there are hordes of Hallmark movies to choose from, and Netflix has their own panoply of Yuletide viewing, including footage of a cozy fireplace. But trust me, Hot Frosty should be your go-to when you need a break from the worry, stress, and general panic of being alive in this very intense moment in time. Just let this be the mental massage of silliness and sweetness to work out those knots in your muscles and wrinkles in your brain. Written by Russell Hainline, Hot Frosty plays to the holiday rom-com cliches that fans have come to hold dear. Having scripted a slew of festive films, In Merry Measure and The Santa Summit, plus the upcoming movies Three Wiser Men and a Baby, The Santa Claus, and Christmas Under the Lights. Hainline is no stranger to these traditions, and he honors them with both a keen awareness and a sense of playfulness. As such, Hot Frosty is set in a picturesque small town called Hope Springs, the kind of place where everyone knows the kind-hearted widow, Kathy, Mean Girls' Lacey Chabert, a diner owner who does her best to feed and care for her neighbors, and bare-chested snowmen. Hot Frosty, a heartwarming, hilarious escape into the Christmas rom-com universe. When Hot Frosty flickers across the TV screen, there's an unmistakable air of familiarity, a comforting coziness that immediately draws viewers into its world. Sure, it's yet another Netflix holiday rom-com, but the charm of this one lies in its delightfully absurd premise. A snowman who transforms into a ridiculously handsome man and falls for the local hot mess of a widow. Yes, Hot Frosty is every bit as ridiculous as it sounds, but in a way that feels oddly refreshing and even, dare I say, a little profound. Beneath the frosty surface of this film, there's a subtle nod to the evolving Christmas rom-com landscape and the unexpected power of these films to provide a kind of emotional refuge. A snowman, a widow, and an unexpected love story. At its core, Hot Frosty appears to be another cookie-cutter entry into the world of holiday rom-coms. We've seen it all before. A disillusioned woman, played here by Lacey Chabert, beloved for her role in Mean Girls, struggling to recapture her Christmas spirit after the loss of her husband. A picturesque small-town setting, where everybody knows everyone. And of course, the hero, Dustin Milligan, bringing his trademark sweetness and charm to the role of Jack, the lovable, slightly goofy snowman-turned-man. Jack, with his all-American good looks and puppy dog enthusiasm for the season, is the perfect embodiment of the cinnamon-rolled trope that has become so synonymous with holiday rom-coms. These are the sweet, gentle, emotionally available men we've come to love. They're kind-hearted. They're not afraid to be vulnerable, and they never force anything upon the women they fall for. Instead, they're content to serve as the emotional backbone of the film, tenderly caring for the woman they love without any agenda other than to make her smile. In the case of Hot Frosty, it's Jack's innocent, awkward transformation from a snowman to a real human man that creates a kind of wholesome, otherworldly allure. While it would be easy to dismiss this premise as far-fetched or just plain silly, the movie taps into something much deeper. In the midst of the fantastical, there's a subtle exploration of grief, healing, and the potential for new love, all wrapped up in the warm, familiar glow of holiday magic. The cinnamon roll trope. Why we can't get enough of good guys. The idea of the cinnamon roll hero, that sweet, well-meaning guy who is all heart and tenderness, devoid of any toxic masculinity, has gained even more relevance in recent years. In a world where gender dynamics and power imbalances are under greater scrutiny than ever before, we find ourselves yearning for the kind of men who embody warmth, gentleness, and a deep respect for women's autonomy. The men in these films aren't pushing boundaries or asserting dominance. They're waiting for that nod of approval, ensuring that their actions are always consensual, always respectful. Consider the many beloved characters who fit this mold. Jude Law as the charming bachelor in The Holiday, who charms our hearts with his vulnerability. Kevin and Edward from the Princess Switch films, both offering heartfelt gestures that range from baking cakes to publicly professing their love. Or Jack from Hot Frosty, who, despite his literal transformation from snowman to man, is as emotionally open and attentive as they come. What sets these characters apart from the usual portrayal of men in romantic films is that they are emotionally available, considerate, and, in many ways, far more vulnerable than the women they fall in love with. They're not alpha heroes, they're beta heroes in the truest sense, and it's this vulnerability that makes them so appealing. There's no fear of being hurt by their tenderness, and in turn, that makes us feel safe in the world they inhabit. In a time when 1 in 12 women in the UK are victims of violence each year, and the world feels increasingly unsafe and uncertain, there's something deeply comforting about these films. They offer an escape to a world where men are gentle, respectful, and kind, and where love is based on mutual understanding and care. For many women, the real world doesn't always provide this sense of safety, but in these films, that's precisely what is on offer. They represent a much-needed antidote to the aggressive, possessive portrayals of masculinity that have often been the norm in mainstream media. The emotional power of escapist Christmas films. Despite the light-hearted nature of Hot Frosty, it's hard to deny that it taps into a deep emotional current. The idea of a world where men are sweet, patient, and emotionally attuned to the women they love resonates with many of us, especially when so much of contemporary life can feel overwhelming, isolating, and uncertain. Hot Frosty, along with many other holiday rom-coms, offers a kind of safe haven from these stresses, providing an emotional, mental massage that soothes the knots in our minds and helps us unwind. There's a reason why Christmas films, even the more low-key and quirky ones, have a special place in our hearts. At their best, they remind us of the kindness and generosity that are still possible in a world that often feels filled with negativity and conflict. At their worst, they're still charming and filled with joyous warmth. And Hot Frosty, for all its silliness, is no exception. Yes, it's filled with the usual holiday clichés. The small-town setting, the family-focused plot, the big romantic gesture at the end. But it's these same clichés that make us feel at home. They offer the emotional stability that we crave, even if just for 90 minutes. Is it just a fluffy fantasy, or something more? When you break it down, Hot Frosty is, on the surface, just another fluffy holiday film. It's not going to change the world or go down in history as a groundbreaking cinematic masterpiece. But perhaps we're doing it a disservice by dismissing it as mere fluff. There's something inherently comforting about these films, particularly in a time when the real world feels unpredictable and fraught with challenges. By offering us these soft, tender heroes, men who care deeply about the women they love, who respect boundaries, and who offer their hearts without reservation. These films provide a form of escapism that feels both safe and healing. Amanda Major, clinical quality director, notes that films like Hot Frosty tap into a real craving for vulnerability and mutual support. She suggests that these portrayals of good guys reflect an antidote to the more aggressive, possessive notions of masculinity that have dominated mainstream portrayals of men in media. At a time when so many women feel unsafe or unprotected in their day-to-day lives, these films create a space where tenderness, kindness, and respect are paramount. And that's no small thing. So while Hot Frosty may not be a cinematic tour de force, it's certainly a delightful treat that offers something deeply satisfying. It's the perfect escape, a temporary respite from the pressures of real life, and a reminder of the kind of love we all deserve. One that is sweet, gentle, and built on trust and mutual respect. In the end, it's your choice. You can treat Hot Frosty as just another lighthearted, frothy holiday rom-com, or you can embrace it for what it truly offers. A tender, kind-hearted fantasy that makes the world feel just a little bit safer, one cinnamon roll at a time. And let's face it, sometimes that's exactly the kind of comfort we need. This version adds more depth to the reflection on the cinnamon roll trope, explains the cultural and emotional relevance of these films, and provides further insight into the significance of their lighthearted themes in the context of modern social dynamics. Let's get one thing straight. Hot Frosty is not the type of film you'd expect to see earning rave reviews alongside beloved holiday classics like A Christmas Story, Elf, or Home Alone. It's a frothy, whimsical rom-com that centers on a snowman who magically turns into a stunningly handsome man and falls in love with a local widow. On paper, it sounds like a delightful bit of holiday fluff. A throwaway Netflix special to pass the time while sipping hot cocoa, right? And in a way, it is. But don't be so quick to write it off as a simple, saccharine holiday movie. There's more going on beneath the surface of this seemingly silly premise than meets the eye. At first glance, Hot Frosty follows a familiar formula for the genre. Set in the quintessential small-town Christmas wonderland of Hope Springs, where everyone knows each other and where kindness, nostalgia, and quirky charm are in abundance. The movie checks off all the boxes of a typical holiday rom-com. It stars Lacey Chabert, yes, the iconic Mean Girls star, who plays Kathy, a young widow struggling to find the Christmas spirit after the loss of her husband. Her life is filled with warm, well-meaning neighbors, a bustling diner to run, and an overwhelming sense of pressure to keep up the festive cheer. Enter Jack, played by Dustin Milligan, Schitt's Creek, a sweet, physically attractive man who is, against all odds, revealed to have originally been a snowman. Jack, magically brought to life during the Christmas season, is everything Kathy didn't know she needed. Charming, gentle, good-hearted, and genuinely invested in helping her rediscover the joy of the holiday season. At its heart, Hot Frosty is a classic holiday fantasy. A snowman turns human, a fantastical concept that has been used in various films and books, from Frosty the Snowman to the Christmas Chronicles. However, this version goes one step further, playing with the holiday movie tropes and adding an extra layer of emotional depth to the proceedings. And while it might seem like the kind of movie that Netflix churns out by the dozen, because honestly it kind of is, it turns out there's something quietly remarkable about it. Despite its predictability and its reliance on familiar, formulaic beats, there's a certain magic to the film that, once tapped into, makes it surprisingly endearing. The cinnamon roll trope. Why we love the gentle good guys. If you've watched any amount of holiday rom-coms, you're likely familiar with the cinnamon roll trope, the beloved concept of the perfect, wholesome man who's as sweet as the pastries that give the trope its name. Hot Frosty is the latest entry into this genre, one that's often characterized by men who are gentle, emotionally available, and, most importantly, good. Think of Jude Law's character in The Holiday, baking cookies, wrapping presents, and earning our affection with his earnest, heartfelt vulnerability. Or Kevin and Edward from The Princess Switch, who effortlessly embody the same ideals of tenderness, respect, and kindness. These men, whether single dads or charming small-town heroes, often go above and beyond to prove their love and devotion. They're not just sweet. They're emotionally supportive, sensitive, and even a little bit fragile.